Welcome back to Wrestling World. Today we'll be taking a look at the big new report that USA Network wants darker and heavier content for Raw, how WWE misled fans with a new appearance by The Rock, and much more. Before we dive into it, make sure you subscribe with all notifications turned on and drop a like below. Let's start things off with this new report about Monday Night Raw. We briefly touched on this last week, how Raw, and even SmackDown to a certain degree, feels like it has no real direction at times. Everything outside the main feuds feels so random and slapped together at the very last second. Apparently, WWE's ratings are reflecting the fact that they can't really pull in as much viewers right now with their television product. In honesty, feels like we hear this every single week. The recent edition of Raw have been the lowest rated episodes of all time in terms of overall viewership for WWE. Why is that? It's really hard to point out a specific reason, but it could be a lot of things. Maybe the casual fans can't really get invested in the show with no live crowd. The NFL and the NBA are on as well, so that has some Monday night competition to go up against. Or maybe it's just the fact that there's nothing intriguing about the show to the new and casual viewers. Your loyal fans are always going to be there, no matter what. We already know that, but it's hard to pull in new viewers when you really don't have anything interesting going on for Raw. Alex McCarthy of Talk Sports reported that USA Network was livid about record low ratings and is demanding for WWE to switch up the content to a more darker and adult tone. Not adult tone like WWE was in the late 90s and early 2000s with their women. They just mean more violent and more heavier content with real substance. And you can't be upset with that because it's true. Look at the opening for Monday Night Raw last week. You got The Miz in the middle of the ring reading a Christmas story. Sure, it was entertaining. That's not going to be increasing your teenage audience at all. They see that, they'll most likely go to switch to football or basketball. So that's the problem here, and that's what USA Network reportedly wants to fix. This isn't the first time that USA Network has requested changes for Monday Night Raw. The first time they requested something new resulted in the creation of the WWE 24/7 Championship, a title that had a lot of interest and hype around it in the first week. But now it's just used as a comedic portion of Raw. Then, when USA Network requested more new ideas, WWE came up with Raw Underground and Retribution. That actually worked for a bit. Raw Underground was something new and different that actually had a lot of fans talking. But just like the rest of Raw, the Raw Underground portion of the show lacked direction, purpose, and was an entire mess from that point of view. It was later canceled due to the fear of an outbreak with all the Performance Center talent that was coming over. Retribution was another idea that started off strong and actually sparked a lot of interest towards the start, but they now have fallen flat on their face. The second it was announced that WWE signed Retribution to Raw, the mystique about the group was completely destroyed. There was one point during the start of Retribution where you just didn't know when they were coming out. They could strike at any moment, and that idea was sort of fun and kept fans on the edge of their seat. In current day, who knows what they're doing or when they're going with Retribution, but that was another idea that started off strong but fell on its face as time went on. So the 24/7 title, Retribution, and Raw Underground, all three ideas that WWE came up with to please USA Network, but all three are pretty much non-existent now. So what's next for WWE, and what will they switch or create to help spark some interest again? We'll have to see. The report was followed up by another report that claimed that USA Network is demanding darker content wasn't true, so it's hard to keep up with all these conflicting reports. But the latest report does seem to blame Raw's backstage drama and power struggle for Raw's low ratings. Obviously, none of us are there and know what's going on, but as a viewer, you just get a sense that something is off. When it comes to Raw, something just doesn't feel right about it. To give SmackDown credit, this week's episode was a massive improvement from weeks past, but Raw does seem to still be stuck in limbo. So regardless if USA Network report was real or not, I think WWE does have to switch something up on Raw and try new things because what they're doing with the show right now doesn't seem to be connecting with fans. When you think of huge standout feuds from Raw right now, you have Wyatt vs. Orton and McIntyre vs. Styles in your top tier. Then second tier would probably be The Hurt Business versus New Day, but that's about it for Raw. Nothing truly stands out besides that. No one knows what's going on with Retribution right now. They seem to be having a 5 versus 1 feud with Ricochet, so who knows where that's going. Will he join them, or will we just see 5-on-1 attacks? The Raw Women's Championship and the entire Raw Women's division remains lost in the shuffle. There is no number one contender. There is no structure at all in the Raw Women's division. So as you can see, Raw definitely has some flaws that need to be fixed as soon as possible. But we'll have to wait and see how that turns out for Raw. A lot of fans were angry this week with WWE because they basically misled fans and had some false advertisement for Talking Smack. It was announced earlier on Friday that The Rock will be making a special appearance on Talking Smack. Obviously, this was huge news, and it started to spread like wildfire. WWE even mentioned it during SmackDown that The Rock himself will be appearing on Talking Smack. What WWE failed to mention was that it was an interview that already aired on Fox and was several days old. So WWE did mislead and fool the fans with that special appearance by The Rock on Talking Smack. The way WWE advertised it made it seem like The Rock would be joining the cast via video chat and talking about the show. Especially with the rumors still circulating about Roman Reigns versus The Rock, fans were interested to see if The Rock would make any mention of Roman. WWE most likely knew that's what the fans were thinking about, and that's why they advertised it in the way that they did, just to fool you and help out Talking Smack's viewership. Did it work? It sure did. Everyone tuned in to this special appearance by The Rock, and everyone left the show feeling fooled and tricked. So technically, it was a smart move to impress Fox and pull up those ratings, but they did trick the fans in the process. As far as the latest updates on everyone's Rock vs. Roman Reigns dream match, reports claim that The Rock will most likely not be available for 2021, but that he has expressed interest in 2022 as a possible great time for the match. So that is a long way away for that match. The Rock will be around 50 years old at that time as well. We also don't know where Roman Reigns' character would be at 2022. Will he still be champion? Will he still be doing the head of the table character? These are all the questions that we'll have for the next year and a half, but that seems to be like the realistic possibility right now. WrestleMania 38 in 2022. But what are your thoughts on today's wrestling news? What are some of your ideas on how WWE can turn things around on Raw and spark that fan interest again? What did you think of WWE's trick on the fans about The Rock's special Talking Smack appearance as well? Leave all your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications turned on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.